It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this most exciting, invigorating, robust lifestyle show. I want to thank each one of our listeners who are tuning in to this live podcast and the ones that will be listening to the recording. I am just very grateful for each one of our listeners. And I am just overly excited today to have with me one of my monthly returning divas, Sandra Mendelson. And she is going to be speaking about the positive changes that are occurring now from the animal's perspective. Oh my, this is going to be fantastic. Sandra, could you please just introduce yourself and tell our listeners a little bit about yourself today?
Sure. I am what I do is I am an animal communicator and a channel of animal consciousness. So animal communication is usually one-on-one, initiated by a human, a conversation to usually, get to know the animal better, solve problems behaviorally, physically. Channeling animal consciousness is literally receiving messages from the consciousness of, now over 85 different species, and these messages are for all of us. So I think that's just a short synopsis of what I do.
Oh, wow. And wow, is that ever incredible. I love it, how you're channeling the consciousness too, as well as communicating. Oh, that is just beautiful. Awesome. Well, how would you like to start today telling us about the positive changes that are occurring from the animal's perspective?
Well, I think quite simply, we humans are so busy watching the external world. The animals give us a report on the state of our internal world, human consciousness. And the answer, how can animals do that? Because, and it's a much longer way to explain this, animals don't just communicate in ways that we have seen with our eyes. In other words, they make noise, they emit scent, they demonstrate body movements. More than anything else, especially to tune into humans, they hear this, they read intention and the thought stream. They communicate energetically, which means that's why the books that I have channeled so far is all predicated on that even playing ground where the way that we can communicate with animals most safely, especially when you're dealing with like a lion, is when you meet them through the thought stream. We humans have to tap into our abilities that are sixth sensory, clairaudience, meaning hearing, clear hearing not with your ears, but by tapping into consciousness, or clairvoyance, where you see images, like behind your eyes, if you will. So because animals tap into the human thought stream, and they also, maybe a big leap for us, they tap into the web of life to get their information. While you and I are stuck with the internet and our computers, which sometimes go down, and we're trapped, we've got animals get information from birds that fly everywhere and even into no-cell zones where we can't go. So they know things about areas, across the globe that we're clueless about. But also by tapping into the web of life. That's how they get their information, which is why when I was tuning into a chimp in Tanzania and he started telling me about rescue efforts in Asia, my jaw hit the floor. Like, how could you know this? it's a huge cognitive leap for us to make. Most of the time we're just starting with, okay, look at your animal differently, pay attention, notice what, that what he's doing or she's doing is on purpose, and trust what you feel they're doing. So to get back onto topic here, what I brought today are finally, right, we really are evolving, and we humans are evolving, but all we hear is how horrible everything is, and the animals are here to share some really good things that they see and feel across humanity. This is kind of like a global, they see all the little, excuse the expression, points of light. When we see only the darkness, we don't know that the points of light are there. So here we go. All right, now this is actually from the animal kingdom as a whole, about changes in human behavior that are helping the animal kingdom. It said, countless numbers of us animals are going through an immense healing, both in physical form and in spirit form. Every human who begins to view us as conscious, feeling beings and who treats us with respect makes an enormous difference that allows us to heal. You just don't know how many there are that are doing this. So one of the things they said was and I may have said this before, we get on to social media and watch animal videos, and we think, we're willing away the time and something that makes us laugh. But what it's doing is it's elevating our consciousness to see animals differently and pay more attention to their behavior and their intentions, starting to trust what we see. So people don't even realize it's a great way to learn because you're watching animal videos. You're not aware that you're actually evolving. Okay, then they say, we must tell you that many more people are leaving food for us in the wild, and the offering is received with so much love and gratitude. And also, one by one, people are exerting less automatic control over their animal partners. So this is from wild animals talking about how we are interacting with the animals we live with. We are watching our animals' behavior more closely and seeking to understand instead of assume. We are looking out, as I mentioned, for the meaning in their behavior as never before in recent human history. And recent human history means hundreds and hundreds of years. Also, and you may have heard this, the movement driving humans into nature as a safe place is facilitating more wonder and awe among you. This is good for both you and us. As humans see how much they need nature as a refuge, their vibration rises along with their respect for life other than their own.
Yes. Oh, how beautiful!
So there's a lot in that one paragraph that I just rattled off. So we're paying more attention. We're leaving food. This concern for sentient, animals being sentient. We're interacting with our animals and we are developing true respect, maybe based out of need, but who cares? For the natural world, it's really happening across the globe. So that's the first thing.
That is beautiful, and I love how the animals are also expressing their gratitude, which they always do. Always.
Yeah,
always
I had a horse tell me we always pay it forward in our world, and I thought that was so beautiful. This is an off-track thoroughbred who literally thought his life was just going to be crap, and he was dumped at a rescue, and the gratitude and paying. He then started helping. He did two things. He, no accident, was adopted by someone who he's now doing therapy work with humans, and he's also part of this energetic rescue horse network. These are horses that have been rescued that are kind of, they're still dealing with their own healing, but they're healed enough that they are energetically working on other horses out of gratitude, paying it forward. It's amazing what they do behind the scenes.
Yes, totally. I love it.
And then I didn't realize this was a pun until yesterday. Birds, I went to this farm, and this happened more than once. All of a sudden, all these birds descend in the tree over my head, and they're like, bah, 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 bah. And they do it intentionally, and it's great. They said, the first thing they said was, we're bringing you a report from the field. And I didn't realize they were talking about the energetic field, not just the phrase, I'm bringing you a report back from the front kind of thing. So this is what we're bringing you a report from the field. Every bird taps into this network. Remember what we birds do. We carry information to the entire animal kingdom. We tell other animals who then show up for people that are mind openings, and they draw their attention. I didn't even realize that. So, like, you know, we have no idea, you know, and if an animal comes and eats out of our hand, you know, they're getting messaging from the birds. It's just like, my Lord, you know, we're numb. We have no idea. Okay, so they said so much is percolating. So many seeds have been planted, just the way we drop and spread them. But these are seeds of love and awareness. We see everything from our vantage point across the skies and across the world. It is so much greater than you know, all the people waking up, and it's just as we knew it would be. You must spread this to give people the understanding that they matter. Each time they choose kindness and love, they are heard and felt by us and all the animal kingdom. Well, there are bumps and hurdles and resistance, yes, but delicate changes happen first. Little bits of love are being added to the pot. There's more softness in the air, you know, behind closed doors. So many of you have stopped running, or at least have slowed down a bit. Pockets of gentleness are growing larger across the globe. And also, people are noticing that things are not accidental. They are really getting that when animals appear a lot, when they show up undeniably in our path, that it is not by chance. And this helps dissolve the walls that humans have imagined themselves peering over and around to look at us. In other words, we humans look at animals and go, I don't know what they're saying, and we create these invisible walls. But the more we see animals and go, that's intentional, those walls start to dissolve. It's our beliefs. It's the walls of our beliefs. And then what was really interesting, one night, a bird came through, and it was a domestic bird. This is the contribution from the indoor birds that are people's family members. Okay, so here's what I heard. My name is Birdie. I know, not very creative, but my family is delightful. We live in Duluth. I was like, what? I had to reach you to talk about the goodness hiding in the homes of millions. I feel it through the walls. I am surrounded by it too. Acts of kindness are skyrocketing. Here we go again. You just don't hear about it enough. In ways little and big, humans are tapping into their hearts. You must tell this to people that this is the real truth, not the nasty lies you see on TV. Yes, lies. The world is opening up through the human heart. Heart, heart, heart. It is the most powerful thing of all. Take every opportunity to use it. Keep it simple. Think of nothing more than that, and your actions will change. And then this parakeet chimes in and says, we are always home and we see everything that goes on inside the walls and share it with each other. People are really being kinder to each other. So I just thought that was wonderful, right? Because it's so hard to believe that, but it's a reality for them. And unfortunately, too many of us believe that the news is the reality. And now I have a couple from Elephant Consciousness. Wow. And elephants are really beautifully wise energy workers, like you wouldn't believe. Okay, the changes are happening in small pockets that are increasing in number, and they are profound, but you have to look for them because they will, rarely show up on the main news you receive. Notice the planting of large numbers of trees, more regenerative technology, more new healing modalities. There will continue to be more love and gratitude and new ways of doing things, what you call work, running businesses, interacting with each other, and reevaluating how you walk upon the earth. These will emerge and expand in scope. The issues of the world are many and complex, but this event is already creating change of historical proportions. I have to tell you, just this weekend alone, I was part of this music fest, and their whole goal was to plant 1 million trees. So people made donations. I made a donation, and then I was looking for like eco clothing, and I found another, plant trees. Every time you make a purchase, they plant trees. It's happening because the single best thing you could do for the planet is plant trees. The list of reasons why is so long, and what they do from climate and healing and flooding. I mean, just amazing. So we don't hear about this on the news. But if you start looking around, companies that are planting trees while doing, selling, you'd be surprised. So there's also a lot more new healing modalities that are popping up, more sound healing, more Nikola Tesla frequencies being, if you will, his wisdom being translated into things to help people who are feeling EMF so badly and are in pain all the time. And they've tried everything. And finally, they try this gizmo and they're like, it was that? Here I am thinking I'm old. No, it turned out to be, as a squirrel told me, we think it's subtle right now what's coming into our homes, but it has been ramped up a lot. So, I'm here to talk about the positive stuff, so I'm going to stick with that. But,
yes.
Anyway. So then on a more personal level, an elephant was talking about what's going on in the individual. That all healing takes place within the individual, one by one, until a tipping point is reached. People that are still struggling with being human at this time, like for whom so many human activities now seem self-serving and empty, without any deeper meaning or reason for being. So the elephants were addressing those of us that are like, why do I feel this way? I feel lost. And here's what, the old things that used to work for us that don't anymore. So she said, your higher selves see through the veil so that what you thought you needed or what you believed were fundamental necessities of life may now play only a small role, not a starring one. This could be a partner who is not your mate in spirit or things or experiences. Performing, in quotes, or functioning in sync with unawakened humans may feel as if you're acting in a play. That is because your soul growth has become the most important thing to you and you are seeing with clear eyes. So as we go through this and suddenly we feel like we're speaking a different language from people we've always been hanging around with, as you and I have talked about before, it comes back to compassion and free will and not trying to change anyone or convince anyone. But if you're having this experience, it is because your soul growth has taken first priority, and the animals always applaud that. And and then finally, go ahead, please.
Well, I just love, because everything you have talked about with the animals, almost on every single one, goes with the heart, with love, kindness, gratitude. It is just amazing. And I mean, we've gone from little tiny birds to great big elephants and everything in between, and they all are feeling the same. It is just incredible. I just absolutely love it. This is just beautiful.
Well, what's so funny? We think things are so complicated that when we get one simple statement of truth, it doesn't seem to satisfy us. Because as I posted this the other day, let's see if I can pull it really fast. It was a channeling from a Lynx, and there's just one line I want to share. It said, always, feel, receive with your heart. It's the one place where we are all equal and without limits. It is only through your heart that you will recognize what we animals have been trying to show humans throughout history. Love is all there is, everything else is just form, like thought forms or tangible forms. Love is the glue that holds the strands of the web of life together.
Oh,
Done.
wow.
Right.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Right?
It's just...
Sometimes we need maybe a little bit more juice to go, oh, it really is, everything else is just these things floating around. What holds it all together? Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what? We get so much information that when you wake up in the morning and if all you have to do is think about your heart, focus on your heart energy, just be love, simple. That's it. It's like too much can make your head roll down the sidewalk. Right? And the animals, unlike anything I've ever seen, the animals simplify down to the essence where we humans can come up with really complex explanations for the same thing. Kind of a pattern.
Very much so. And they're staying in the love vibration because they're speaking from their heart. And I love that. That is just beautiful. Okay.
Yeah, one thing. There's one more that I have, and also something that maybe people haven't realized, stuff that perhaps they feel that they've been forced to do, and how it's helping the animal kingdom. And this is from a bear. I speak often of solitude and the powerful healing and lessons that it affords. More and more people, because they are running around much less, are discovering their inner stillness. This does everyone more good than you could possibly know. Your own quietude makes it easier on us because we don't have to cut through as much human frenzy that we feel in the web. The web is even quieter at night than it used to be. So giving yourselves peace means you give it to us too. Oneness works in your favor because helping yourselves means we benefit as well.
Oh, that was beautiful too. How beautiful. Just going inside yourself, inner stillness. And it just, when you were talking about that, I could just see the full circle of how we all intertwine together, us and the animals. We all intertwine and help one another. And that is just what's so beautiful. We're all under the same sky. We all breathe the same air. And we all need each other.
Very much so. And you know what? I think it was actually a bear that said, we are addicted to doism. The toughest habit for humans to break is that habit of doing. And sometimes we don't have a choice, right? Where your life gets so busy with things that absolutely have to get done, especially if it's someone else's welfare or something is your car died or, right, somebody's ill. It doesn't matter. And then we go, why don't I have a second to sit down? And you pass out. you sit down and you fall asleep before you even turn the light off. You're trying to meditate, you're gone. Back to self-compassion, where we just put one foot in front of the other and see if we can carve out little bits of time where, like, the phone is off. I am now going, I don't care if it's, the birds even said, we don't even care if it's a closet, if that's the only place that you have that's peaceful and you can just let go. Yeah, just the way my dog used to say, like, you need to make time to be outside and put it on the calendar like it was a doctor's appointment. You wouldn't miss that, would you? It's the same thing. That kind of healing is so powerful, but unless we put these things in our calendars, who do you think ends up getting thrown under the bus? We do, by us. Yeah, people like to throw around self-care, like self-care, but you got to say, okay, it's tonight at 7 p.m. I will be meditation, phone off, or, it's Friday night, that kind of stuff. That's why the animals are so compassionate. They're so compassionate. They see how much we have on our plate. They see, I had a horse say, watching the woman that ran the farm, fun just is. It's not having to fix anything that's broken, clean up after someone, learn something new, right? Because that's, and something else, right? Because she's just nonstop. And this is, the horse is watching. Yeah. So.
Oh,
So you
and they always are.
Really cut yourself a. Go ahead.
It just reminds me of yesterday with my horses. I was out there and I was loving on them and petting them and everything. And I said, okay, I got to go. And they I looked back and they were looking at me like, yeah, we understand you have things to do, but thanks for the time you spent with us. Whether it was a few minutes of a hug, I could just feel it. They were saying that. And I was like, yes, it helped all of us. It helped them, and you guys helped me more than you'll ever know, just by understanding all that. And that's just the love they show. That's just the animals. I have to put that in
every day. No, I'm glad you did, because you're one of the people that uses her eyes, your eyes behind your eyes. Using your gut, your intuition, your heart, and their heart beings. So they stand around and they watch everything we do. They know more about us than we do.
They do.
Yeah. So hopefully, your listeners have started doing that too, paying more attention, and you'll see the sense of humor and problem solving and compassion. You'll see all of that and the uniqueness of your animal partner. And yes, more than anything, the intention behind what they do.
Right. Exactly. Be in tune. Just take those, like you said, put it on your calendar to take those moments. If that's what needs, carve out that time, no matter when it is, carve out that time, because you need it. You need that self-care so bad to be able to help others, is how I say too. First, you have to go inside yourself and find yourself before you can be helping others. And the animals see that so clearly. This was just beautiful, Sandra. I loved each one of the animals and everything they brought. They brought so much meaning and pulling it all together that they're all seeing it the same. They're just basically telling it in different perspectives. And that is beautiful.
And there's one last element I just want to add, because I think this is something that so many of us are trying to strive for, and create a balance with. How much time you need alone and how much time with others. Because too much time with others, you can feel wiped out and exhausted. And I don't care how wonderful the interchanges are. With all of these energy changes and how we're waking up and we have to integrate all kinds of stuff we may not even identify, just notice in yourself. How do you feel? If you've spent 3 days in a row constant with different people, work and fun and whatever, well, you know what I mean. I don't like the word work, but get tos and have tos. If you start to feel really depleted, right, you need a night or a day alone, and that can shift everything. Finding your balance animals do it all the time. They're like, look, they get away from the herd or the flock, and then when they're ready, they join up again. It's a no-brainer in the animal kingdom. So maybe we could make it less of a big deal for us, too.
Yes, very well said, and I see it. I see it in all my animals. My horses, sometimes one of them will be off by themselves, just laying down, and I see it in the cattle. They'll walk away from one another. They just need their own quiet time, too, just like we do. Oh, that was beautiful. Absolutely. I loved it. I wrote all kinds of notes, and you just put it into such a beautiful perspective, Sandra. Thank you so much.
Well, I thank you. It's such a joy to be here and watching as more and more people are discovering these things right under their noses that don't cost any money, and you don't even have to leave the house, just tuning into your animal. It's one of the benefits of this extraordinary thing we're living through right now. There's always a silver lining, right? Yes, there is.
Oh, and you just brought it to light in so many ways. That was just beautiful.
Thank you so
Sandra,
much.
You are so welcome. I cannot believe this has gone so quickly. The 30 minutes just flew by. I'm like, oh my goodness. We will just intrigue our listeners that they need to tune in next month when you share some more information about what the animals are saying. And we have caught their interest, and we will be back next month.
Terrific. Thank you.
You are so welcome, Sandra. And I want to thank all of our listeners for listening to this absolutely invigorating and just really awesome interview with our amazing diva, Sandra Mendelson. Please share this with your family and friends. And be sure to check out all the other hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. Remember, have a fantastic day. Carve out that time for yourself and your animals, and be kind to all. Give your animals that great big extra hug and share your love with them. Until we connect again on Robust Lifestyle, stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.